I'm Bill Ross, and if you're watching this video, chances are you're not real happy with where you're living and you're considering making a change. You know, after moving to Silicon Valley from Boston 30 years prior, on February 22nd, 2021, my wife and I decided to sell our house and leave the once great state of California. We spent the next 90 days or so doing some remodeling. The goal of the remodeling was to maximize the price on the house and minimize the time on market. We listed the house on May 6th and accepted an offer well over listing price on May 10th. And while the remodeling was underway, we took a family trip to San Antonio on April 5th to scout out the area, narrow down the neighborhoods we'd seriously consider. More on the San Antonio decision later. So on June 9th, my wife and I took another trip to San Antonio and made an offer on a house which was accepted on June 12th in Boerne, Texas. Boerne is in hill country about 30 minutes north of San Antonio. So, you know, the moment we accidentally drove through Boerne downtown, we fell in love with it. So why Texas? Why San Antonio? Why hill country? If not for the schools, taxes, high cost of living, lack of freedoms and politics, we would ideally have relocated to California's Central Coast near Paso Robles. We wanted to be in a place that was warm and on the ocean and was near a relatively large city. And that remained true. This really narrowed our choices to North and South Carolina, Florida, and Texas, and we actually also considered Tennessee. But after living with earthquakes, wildfires, mudslides, you name it, the better half ruled out hurricane-prone areas. And, you know, this essentially eliminated all but Tennessee and Texas. And, you know, there really was some appeal for Tennessee. But the cultural adjustment, well, let's be honest, the shock, we thought might be too much for us. San Antonio, with easy access to the coast, but far enough away to avoid hurricanes, is where we focused our search efforts. A little about San Antonio. San Antonio is the second largest city in Texas behind Houston and the seventh largest city in the U.S. It was founded in the early 1700s and therefore has a lot of history and culture. And while its population is hard, it's really more like a big town or a series of big towns than, you know, a huge impersonal city, while still having a very vibrant downtown and excellent universities. But why did we decide on hill country? In California, we lived in the Santa Cruz Mountains between San Jose and Silicon Valley and Santa Cruz on the coast. We were akin to terrain, trees, and privacy. We therefore chose to focus our search in the Texas Hill Country just north of San Antonio. It has easy access to San Antonio, friendly downtowns, terrain, milder temperatures, less humidity. You know, many are actually abandoning Austin and moving westward towards San Antonio to escape the rising crime, rising homelessness, rising costs, and silly politics. I want to now talk a little bit about, you know, how we acclimated to the move once we got here. And, you know, before meeting each other, both my wife and I had made significant changes in relocation in terms of both distance and culture. You know, and as such, we really anticipated a period where this wouldn't feel like home for a while. But no kidding, really, there was zero adjustment. We felt at home here immediately. And I can't say that this will be true for everyone, but for us there was no adjustment period. And as a bonus, each morning we are welcomed to the new day with spectacular sunrises, as you can see. And Texas aren't smiley face nice, they're not superficial, but they're genuinely warm and friendly. And, you know, we often begin conversations with them by apologizing for being from California and promising that we didn't bring California with us. And there's another issue I'd like to address as well. Texas gets a bad rap for bias and prejudice. And while I'm sure it exists here, like everywhere else, I have yet to see even a hint of it. I've seen mixed couples of every ethnic, color, stereotype, and nobody bats an eye. Nobody cares. And, this is even true male-male, male-female, same thing. What I have noticed about Texans is that they are very tolerant of almost everything, with a notable exception of one. They do not like and do not accept others imposing their opinions or values on them. And frankly, it's quite refreshing. Essentially, everyone's welcome here. There's no bias, there's no prejudice to any degree that's any different from anywhere else I've lived in the country, and I've lived in some pretty liberal areas. You ever see one of those ads where the CEO says, "I liked it so much I bought the company"? Well, I did. Sort of. I like living here so much that I walked away from my 30-plus years in high tech and got my real estate license. I genuinely want others to find the contentment I and my wife and family have found here. If you want to learn more about the thought processes that got us here, or things to consider in making a move, please reach out to me. I'd be happy to share my experiences and help you in any way I can. Just reach out to me. And if you're looking to buy here, I'd be happy to help. Thank you very much.